Hello, everyone. Welcome to Weekdays on BYU-Idaho Radio. I'm Harrison Kelly, and I'm joined by Leah Tindor. She's the festival coordinator for Shoshone-Bannock Indian Festival. This is the 61st annual festival. It's going to feature a parade, vendors, singing, dancing, and drumming contests, and a lot more. We have a lot to talk about. Leah, thank you for coming on to the show.
Nananiha. Hi.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, this is exciting. So I'm curious, how long have you been a part of this festival? I know you're the coordinator.
So this is my second year running the festival as the festival coordinator. So 2025 was my first year. 2026 is, my second term.
That's really cool. How did you get into this role?
So first of all, I do host other vendor shows like Indigenous Market. I've done that for 3 years. I've hosted other vendor arts and craft booths like for the Christmas bazaars, and usually we have like about 80 vendors there. So I've done a lot of organization work. So when the festival coordinator role was advertised, I applied and I was selected.
Wow. That's really cool. So you're pretty well versed in putting together festivals and different organizing different events and things like that. So it makes sense that you're in the role that you are. I'm curious, just for the folks at home that don't know about the Shoshone-Bannock Indian Festival at Fort Hall, how did this festival start? I know it started back in 1965, right? How did it start?
So the festival began I want to say, so it is the 61st, but during COVID, so we didn't have the festival for 2 years. So technically it's the 63rd, 4th-ish year in a row. So the festival, the Shoshone-Bannock Tribes, they wanted to celebrate our culture and honor our ancestors and bring the community together. And it started really small, actually. It started with just dancing, drumming, and honoring our veterans. And it grew into one of the most important cultural gatherings in the region. So it's kind of really exciting. I know I talked to, I'm a third, almost fourth generation that, so my great grandparents attended the festival, and so great grandparents, and so they would talk about how small it used to be, where it used to be held on, the lawn of where we are now, the Tribal Business Center. That's how small it used to be, just where it was hosted right by the park. And I don't even know if the park was there at that time, but it used to be so small, and it's grown. It's last year we've had maybe we want to say over 25,000 participants.
Wow. 25,000 participants.
Yes.
That's a lot larger than I was anticipating. That's a pretty big number. So is that has that grown to that size just within the last couple of years, or?
So actually it's, as far as I can remember, maybe my first years of attending festival, maybe being 5 or 6 is prior to what I remember. It's always been huge. We've always had, we do, the kickoff is our Thursday parade, and that to me has been amazing. It's called the Kids Day Parade. And so it's always been huge. I've always known it to be so big. And, as sitting on the seat and, being the festival coordinator, now I see numbers and it just feels like it's, this last year, it felt really big. We had a lot of people coming in. We had a lot of drums coming in, dancers. I think we had anywhere from 900 to 1,200 registered dancers. And so those are the dancers that will compete, but that doesn't count any of our tiny tots, and so that is the little guys, or the other dancers, because it really, a lot of people don't dance to compete. They dance for healing or prayer. So a lot of people don't even register to dance.
So they just come and they join and they just be a part of that experience.
Yes.
That's so cool. I am curious because I know you've got these different competitions. You've got like the drum, you got the singing, and you got the dancing. And how do people sign up for that? Do they have? I mean, I guess they don't have to, but how do they sign up for that?
So we got a lot of people travel in. We got people from Canada and people from like all over Indian country. They come and they come register. So we'll open registration date of. So if grand entry is at 1 p.m., usually registration opens within a couple hours of that. Some years they do registration online. Unfortunately, this year we're doing it all on in-person registration. So you would go a couple hours prior to grand entry, so 1, and then you would register. And then if you are familiar with Indian powwows or Native American powwows, is you get points. So you'll hit grand entries, and then you'll you just participate. And the more you participate, that's how the tabulators keep you, in there. And so it's so amazing to watch. You see a lot of people hitting grand entries or running with one moccasin on or, one hair tie on and trying to hit that time to get in there so they don't miss their grand entry.
I mean, that's cool that it's that popular of an event and that it really just shows the heritage and the culture there. I love that.
Yes.
And you've seen this over, the course of your life. You saw your great-grandparents talking about the very first few festivals, and I'm sure you've heard your parents talk about it and everything, but why do you feel this festival is so important for the community? So
really, it keeps tradition alive. It strengthens our identity, and it brings families together. And it supports all our local dancers, our artists, our singers, our vendors. It's really a place for elders and everyone, to connect to the Shoshone-Bannock culture.
Yeah, because there's such great culture that you have. And I think it's such a cool opportunity for, the East Idaho community, but even the Idaho community come down and be a part of that and to celebrate in that as well.
Yes.
And I understand that your theme this year is one purpose, or is one people, one purpose, one future.
Yes. Right. One people, one purpose, one future.
Yeah. So I love that. I think that's a great theme. What kind of impact do you hope this theme has on the Shoshone-Bannock Tribes, but also the community as well?
So I get the amazing honor of creating the powwow theme. And so it took me 2 months to come up with a theme. So I jotted down with everything given in the world today, when I thought of one people, it was to bring everyone together. It doesn't matter if you were indigenous or who you are. I just wanted to bring everyone together. And then the one purpose was protecting and celebrating our culture or everyone's culture, whatever that may be. And one future was to inspire youth and strengthen, our next generation. So it's to me, it makes me so happy that everybody, the theme is alive, and to watch this whole celebration come together on something that I just jotted down in my notebook, for months and pondered upon, what would be a really good theme for this year.
I think personally that's a very inspired theme because, yeah, like you said, that the world's kind of a crazy place. People aren't as unified as they. I don't think people are as unified as they should be, and I love that one people, one purpose, and one future because we need to be united together, but then also we need to look at our future and see what kind of impact we can leave for the world that our children are going to take over. And I think that's a very inspired theme. So
Thank
good on
you
for that. That's awesome. What? So I know we talked about there's going to be singing, there's going to be drum,
Yes.
there's going to be some dancing, and I also understand there's Indian relay races and things. What different cultural traditions that we haven't talked about are going to be there?
So we're gonna have a free feast, and so it's like it highlights our Native American traditional foods, and so we'll have that's gonna be Sunday at 4 p.m. and it's basically to feed our participants and say thank you for coming. And we are gonna have a traditional buffalo and some salmon, and we also are gonna have a favorite is some fry bread. And so we're excited. So that's going to be a big thing is our feast, and it's absolutely free. And the next thing we have that, is super exciting is, our arts and craft vendors. I know you touched on that, but, we are known for our beadwork. Shoshone-Bannock artists, we are known for, we have some really amazing some artists in our communities who are very talented, and it goes back to that generational thing. Their grandmothers, their great grandmothers taught them that. And so that's another thing too, is our artwork. It'll be displayed everywhere. We do have an art show that is through the weekend, and it's featured at the hotel and to the event center, so that is free to the public to go and look at. We have a lot of local businesses that team up with us and, get a booth there. We have our horseshoe, and we have our hand game, our stick game that, is traditional games that, we're here for a very long time. And then we have, I know I already talked about it, but the parade, but that features like a lot of our horses, and our culture. And we just have so much stuff.
It sounds like just a full day of fun activities for families and the community to take part in, which I think is so cool. You talked about a stick game earlier. Can you describe that a little bit more? So how does somebody engage in that? Do they have to, is it like a contest, or is it just available? It's just there that you can try with your friends?
So a stick game is, so it's a hand game. So, they have, so I'm really not good at playing hand game. I've tried it, and it just, so usually they will form a team. And so I believe on your team is 5 or 7. So you'll pre-register, and registration is $150, and then they will play. And so the stick game is actually, it starts Friday and it ends, sorry. I can't remember if it starts Friday or starts Saturday, but it goes all night long until the early morning. And so
wow.
They are, so we have, we'll have like 106, or we'll have like maybe 60 teams sign up. So there will be 60 teams going against each other, and it usually starts maybe around 1, and then it'll go like till the next day to 1.
Oh my gosh! So people will stay up to engage in that activity. Wow.
Yes. And so, but everybody does not do hand games. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Fort Hall. We have a layout for hand game, and they got their own arbor, and then we have powwow, and then we have rodeo relay, and then we have softball. We have all our events are going on, at the same time. So, we don't have any time where there's nothing going on. You can check out everywhere, like you can check it all out, and people are more than welcome to go check out the hand game. It's on the grounds. It's by the powwow arbor, and it's just so fun because you can literally see how they're doing it, and they are so playful when they do their games. I couldn't tell you the rules of the games, but it's fun to watch.
Well, that would be something to definitely check out and learn. And there is a very interactive map on the website. If you go to showbandfestival.com, you can go check out all the information you need is there. And I understand you also have RV camping for this festival.
Yes.
How does somebody go get a campsite? How does that work out?
So camping is open to the public. We do have a lot of people coming in, and so sometimes it is. I don't know if it's hard to find a spot, but we do have the Shoshone-Bannock Hotel, and so we do have hotel rooms available also if they are not already sold out. But last year we were sold out all the way up to Idaho Falls.
Wow.
So we were referring people to Idaho Falls, and some of the hotels were full as well. So we were super full. All the hotels in Pocatello were booked, and we were just everything was booked. So I was trying to accommodate for a family, and I ended up calling some hotels in Idaho Falls. So that's how that went, and I was blown away.
This festival is so huge, it takes you to the different drawing areas around East Idaho to house people for it. That's amazing. That is so cool. Wow. Well,
It's so
Leah Tindor, I appreciate you coming on the show, explaining more about this festival. And I think like you said, it's just, it really celebrates the culture of the Shoshone-Bannock Tribes. And I think it's a great opportunity for the community to learn more about those cultures, and also just to show support and respect for those cultures. Come and have a good time at Fort Hall.
Yep. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. That was Leah Tindor, the festival coordinator for the Shoshone-Bannock That was Leah Tindor, the festival coordinator for the Shoshone-Bannock Indian Festival. It's the 61st annual festival happening here in Fort Hall. It's going to feature a parade, vendors, singing, dancing, drumming, a lot of fun activities for the community. For more information on this festival, you can go check out showbanfestival.com. That's SHOBAN festival.com for all your information. This has been another episode of Weekdays with BYU-Idaho Radio. Thanks for listening. I'm Harrison Kelly.